Thank you to everyone who's given me your support on Patreon in the last few weeks. I greatly appreciate it, and plans are in motion to kick off a great Xbox One X series. The console's here, the 4K capture card has been ordered, and I'm researching screens to see what might work the best in my office. I'm kind of lucky that Black Friday is happening about the time you're watching this video. Any questions, ask them in the comments. I'll answer as much as I can. Also, a big thank you to Casual Shenanigans community member Mikey for loaning me his PC account for Destiny 2 for this video. Today we'll be taking a look at, you guessed it, Destiny 2 on the Potato Masher Pro. In case you don't know, the Potato Masher Pro is a side series to the main Potato Masher where I take a GTX 1060 and toss it in the Potato Masher to compare it against the PS4 Pro. The goal isn't to pick on the PS4 Pro, but to show you what type of high-resolution gaming experience you can have with a budget PC. Links are in the description if you want more information, and let's get to it. The regular Potato Masher does great with Destiny 2. It matches the PS4's visual quality at double the frame rate and delivers a pretty good 1440p experience and acceptable 4K performance. The PS4 Pro runs the game at 30 FPS with dynamic checkerboard rendering that ranges from 3072 by 2160 up to 3840 by 2160. On 1080p screens, it runs the same resolution but super sampled for a very clean image. That's legitimately impressive for the PS4 Pro, and it's a testament to how well this game is optimized. However, on the Masher Pro, we're going to compare a wider range of resolution options. One of the biggest reasons to play Destiny 2 on a PC is 60 FPS gameplay. At 1080 and very high settings, the Masher Pro runs at 60 FPS with no trouble. I hate to just quickly burn through footage I spent a while recording, but what else is there to see? The game's maxed out from textures to shadows to lighting. My only real complaint is the anti-aliasing. Even on the highest settings, there are plenty of noticeable sawtooth edges and aliasing shimmer at 1080p. Part of that is because I'm just spoiled by native 4K, but a more aggressive option would have been nice. Jumping to 1440p, the Masher Pro also turns in a great performance at high settings and 60 FPS. Destiny 2 doesn't support third-party performance overlays like MSI Afterburner, so I can't see where the system's maxing out. But the in-game framerate counter did spot a few drops to 57 or 58 FPS. These were rare and were unnoticeable without the framerate counter, so I'd still consider this to be solid 60 FPS-like performance. While not much else changes, aliasing and sharpness are of course better at the higher resolution and the picture is a little bit cleaner. Jumping to 4K, at high settings and 30 FPS, the Masher Pro also does a very good job. Now, yes, the frame rate's been halved, but it does look very, very good. Even a game with a slightly cartoonish and surrealistic art style like Destiny 2 has a ton of care and thought put into every detail, and 4K lets you appreciate all the work the artists have put into every model, effect, and texture. 4K is the sharpest and best way to experience the game if you're able, and the Masher Pro is. However, even at low settings, the Masher Pro can't deliver a locked 60 FPS native 4K. The frame rate stays in the 50s, but that's it. If you had a variable refresh rate monitor, this would be no problem at all, but if you need a locked 60 FPS, the Masher Pro falls slightly short. Reducing the resolution scaling to 80% still preserves much of the sharpness and clarity, but it allows the frame rate to jump back up to a more consistent 60. There are still a handful of drops, but these are like the Masher Pro at 1440p, where they're small enough that they aren't really noticeable without a frame rate counter. I'm also able to increase the settings to medium at this resolution while still maintaining the same consistency at 60 FPS, which is interesting, but welcome. So how does all of this compare to the PS4 Pro? Well, there are a few visual differences. The Masher Pro appears to be running slightly better textures and, like usual, better anisotropic texture filtering. Aliasing of course depends on what resolution you're at, but both platforms are pretty comparable. My guess is that the PS4 Pro has plenty of spare GPU power, allowing the visuals to be cranked because the main bottleneck on that system is the CPU. It just isn't capable of 60 FPS while the Masher is. Now, this is also interesting because most games on PC do have more graphical options than the best version on console, but Destiny 2 looks like it's well optimized enough that the PS4 Pro is basically running the very high settings. It's kind of like a mix of high and very high, and that's impressive. Now, everyone's entitled to their own opinion on the best way to play competitive shooters, but 60 FPS is the minimum for many people, and for that you'll need a PC. The reduction in input latency and the increase in smoothness are awesome, not to mention all the benefits of playing with a mouse and keyboard. All of that isn't to say that the PS4 Pro version looks bad or runs poorly, because it doesn't. It's just limited by the hardware, and the developers have made the best of their options. Also, speaking of frame rates, At 1080p, medium settings, and with the FOV cranked up to 100, the Master Pro is capable of between about 90 and 130 FPS. This is a perfect match for an 144Hz G-Sync monitor, and the game feels that much smoother and more responsive compared to 60 FPS. I think the GPU is likely capable of higher FPS, but the Master Pro's CPU is starting to max out. You can see the same thing at 1440p as well. At low settings, the Master Pro is only able to run between 75 and 100 FPS. While this is still great, the hardware is hitting its limits and unfortunately can't deliver 1440p 144 FPS gameplay. Still, a big improvement over 30. I structured this video somewhat differently compared to typical ones, but as the PS4 Pro delivers one setting for multiple screen resolutions, I wanted to show the range of options available on the Master Pro. If you're okay with more aliasing and a generally softer picture than the PS4 Pro, the Master Pro easily doubles the PS4 Pro's frame rate at 1080p and 1440p with slightly better visual settings. At 4K, the Master Pro again matches the PS4 Pro's visuals. It can't quite double the frame rate at the same resolution, but with some resolution scaling you can have a great 4K experience at 60 FPS. While not as much of a runaway victory as the regular Master, the Master Pro is absolutely the better platform for Destiny 2. Go watch the Potato Masher take on Destiny 2 if you haven't seen that video yet. If you enjoyed this video, consider supporting this channel and the Potato Masher project by tossing me a few bucks on Patreon or hitting the like button. Thank you for your support, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.